Hey, it's you again. So what do you got for me this time?
Brought in another gun for you. Remington New Model Army, the second most common used .44 in the Civil War.
Cool gun. Didn't Clint Eastwood use this in The Good and the Bad and the Ugly?
You've got it. I came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my Remington New Model Army. It's one of a number of these that I currently have, and I'm looking to buy something else. Hopefully I'll get about $2,000 for it.
I mean, it's a great gun. Do you know when this was manufactured?
This would have been made in about 1864.
Okay. It was definitely one of the guns of choice during the Civil War, but there was probably like 30 different styles of revolvers the Union Army ordered just because anybody who could make guns, they would buy them off of.
That's right. In 1859, the U.S. military only had 12,000 soldiers. In 1864, there were 7 million on both the Union and Confederate sides.
Yeah, that's a lot of guns. The Civil War created a huge demand for guns. So a lot of smaller gun companies like Remington and Sharps got huge as a result.
And this is a really good one. The outside shows a little wear, but if you look in the bore's like a mirror. It's had very little use.
I mean, it's in pretty good shape. During the Civil War, this was still a high-tech gun. One of the preferred methods was to have 2, 3, 5, sometimes 10 of these cartridges preloaded, and that was a huge advantage to some other guns. You know, you could just pull one out, make sure your loading lever is at the right angle, and then Clint Eastwood made this look so much easier in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
It's a good thing you're not fighting right now, isn't it?
Yes, it is, because
I think you'd have been shot about 10 times.
I always like to do business with regulars, and Civil War guns are always good sellers. But I just don't know as much about this as I do a lot of other guns.
All right, let's just cut to the chase. Let's make a deal.
Let's slow down a little bit. If it was a Colt, I could tell you all about it. I would make you an offer right now. But it's not. I don't see a lot of these every day, and my understanding is there's like 1 million reproductions of these right now.
Go ahead, call in someone, let some crazy guy come in here and tell you what I already know.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, I'll be right back. Regular or not, I'm not buying this thing until I know 100% it's real. Greg.
Rick.
How's it going?
Good.
That's the gun.
The guys call me down here when they need to know the actual market value of a gun, not what it's listed for, but what it sells for. Remington New Model Army. This is a great gun for a number of reasons. Number one, the government liked it because it was cheaper. I think the cost was 15 bucks a gun. The Colt was 25.
Oh, okay. I know they make a lot of reproductions of them.
Yeah, they actually make more reproductions of this gun than they made original ones.
Okay.
Still in production today, and there are a lot of reproductions out there. A lot of times when I get called to look at a Remington, I show up and it's an Italian reproduction. Very good gun, no historic value. You want to look at the patina. This gun has not been, in my opinion, refinished, and it's in great shape. If you look at the top, you see the Remington nomenclature here. There are 3 lines here. They made them in a 2-line and a 3-line version. The 3-line version's later, so I would expect this gun to have a later serial number. If it doesn't, then that suggests a problem. So let's take a quick peek. 32952. This is a 90,000 series gun. So in my opinion, this gun is authentic in every way.
Okay, cool.
Kind of what I expected.
All right. Now the big argument, because this guy never agrees with me. What is a gun in that shape going for?
There are a couple of drawbacks to this gun not being full mint or anywhere near it. Grips are a little loose. I would say as it sits for what it is, the price would be retail about $2,000.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Rick?
You're the best. Now that we know this thing is genuine, I would love to have it for the shop. And these Remingtons don't come around nearly as often as Colts do. But it all comes down to the price.
So you want to give me $2,000?
No.
You don't?
1,500 bucks.
1,500. So we're going to kind of do this little dance here again,
But
huh?
it's not a dance.
Okay.
I mean, I want to give you 1,500 bucks for it. And
Okay, 1,900.
No. No, I think 1,500 bucks is a fair price.
I can't do 15. I did pay 17 for it. I'll just cut to the chase. 1,600. I'll lose 100 bucks on it.
Just the fact that you're a really good customer and keep on bringing me guns, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate it. We wound up settling on 1,600. That's a little less than I hoped to get for it. That's a very nice gun. You know, I got enough of it that it worked.
What do we have here?
Well, I have my grandfather's old Army coat from the Philippine-American War.
Well, there was no Philippine War.
American-Philippine War?
No.
There's the Spanish-American War where we took the Philippines from Spain.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm coming down to the pawn shop today to try to sell my grandfather's Army coat. I've inherited it through the family and have had it hanging in a closet for years. Not quite sure what era it was from. All it was ever mentioned was the Philippines. I don't have an exact price. I'm just hoping to get some money for it, a large amount of money.
So you think it's from the Spanish-American War?
When was the Spanish-American War?
1890s. We were much more powerful than Spain. It only lasted 10 weeks. The United States ended up acquiring Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. Do you know anything else about it?
Yeah, I've had it since my grandfather passed away.
How old was your grandfather?
He was 101 in 1986.
That would have made him awfully young for the Spanish-American War. And I doubt if he would be a sergeant at the time. He would have been like 12, 13 years old.
You lying to me, dude?
No, I'm not lying to you, man.
Okay, it happens all the time. Like facts get confused with the family.
Absolutely.
The Spanish-American War started and ended in 1898. So this guy's either got his story confused or his grandfather fought in a war when he was age 13. I'm in a quandary here myself. It could be World War I. It's got a really weird color.
These must represent artillery shells, don't they?
Yes, they do. Sometimes these can be worth money right here. The 92, I'm assuming, is the unit, but there's nothing in this thing to date it. You know, I'm just not familiar with these things as I should be. There's a huge market for old military items, but you have to know what you're getting into. Even though this jacket is interesting, I gotta know what war it's from. Only then will I have a clue on what it's worth. So why did you want to sell it?
I can't take care of it like it should be taken care of. If it's a museum piece, it deserves to be in a museum.
Okay, I understand. Do you mind if I bring someone in to look at it so he can tell me what it is?
No,
Okay,
I'm
I mean,
with you on that one.
we'll know which war it's from, we'll know everything about it, and then we can figure out a price.
Great.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you. When the guys told me an expert was going to come in, I felt quite happy about that because I'm sure that he will have more information than I've been able to find.
Rick, good
Mark?
to see you. What do you got?
I don't know exactly what I have. Think it's from the Spanish-American War.
I'm Mark. I'm the administrator of the Clark County Museum System. When I'm looking at the coat, I'm looking for the type of coat it is, what kind of insignia is on it, if the insignia is correct to the coat, in order to kind of narrow down what it is that you're looking at. What you have is a model 1902 dress uniform coat. It's U.S. Army. This particular one is artillery because you've got the red on it, that's artillery. The interesting thing on it is these two stripes here. The red one is time and service stripe. The white stripe means he was in war. He was in battle. The 92nd Coast Artillery was in the Philippines. When was your grandfather born?
1885.
So, well, it's not the Spanish-American War, that's my 1898. Could have been the Philippine Insurrection. The Philippine Insurrection was a war that we fought against insurrection forces after we took over the Philippines at the end of the Spanish-American War. It's missing the U.S. insignia that should be right here. You'd also have a belt. Otherwise, though, it's fairly complete.
Is it rare?
Coast artillery at that time was a very large part of the Army, but still unusual. You don't see many from 1902.
It's neat that it's pre-World War I then.
All right. Absolutely.
Okay,
So
you're the best, man.
thanks a lot. This is a wonderful piece. It's in very nice shape. I suspect that collectors will be quite interested.
So how much do you want for it?
You tell me what you'd be willing to offer right now.
200 bucks.
You can come up more than that, can't you?
Not really. I mean, it's pre-World War I. It's got the interesting insignias, but you are missing insignias. You're missing the belt. I'm assuming I can get like 300 bucks for this thing. I mean, you can get 300. All you got to do is open up your own shop, get business license, all that other stuff, and then you can price it for 300 in your store.
You shop it, buddy.
All right. You want to go write them up, Corey?
Let's go do some paperwork. buddy.
I decided to settle on 200. I know they're going to find a collector that's going to preserve it, put the metals on it, and make it perfect.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I've got this old Colt revolver. It's been in my family, and I was looking to see what I could get for it.
You got the rifle butt with it.
Yeah, it came with this.
It's unusual and it's rare. I mean, I've read about them, I've seen them in books. I've never really seen the rifle butt in person. It was probably one of the best planned, worst inventions of all time.
I've got this old Colt Army revolver. I need to sell it to help put my kids through school. They're in college, and college isn't cheap.
You know, you got one of the cooler guns of the Civil War era. The thing is that the South had the Griswolds, the North had the Colts.
Right.
And since the North controlled all the manufacturing, they made sure that the South didn't get any of the Colt revolvers, and that's pretty much why the North won the war. And someone came up with this bright idea where let's turn one of these into a rifle, and now we have the best of both worlds. Problem is, at that point, you have black powder, and what's gonna happen?
It's going all over the place.
Most of the black powder doesn't explode, so you're getting dirt thrown in your face. So the whole concept of this part back here never really took off. In theory, it's a great idea, but the chances of going blind after firing it just really suck.
Turning this Colt pistol into a rifle wasn't the best idea. But the gun was the weapon of choice for Union soldiers, because you can get 6 shots off that were accurate from up to 100 yards away. May not sound like much today, but back then, that was pretty impressive.
What do you want to do with it, my man?
Like I said, I just want to sell it. I'm thinking like in the neighborhood of a couple thousand.
A couple thousand as in 2?
Yeah.
You know, the condition's really nice on it, and I'd really like to get a buddy of mine down here to take a look at it. You mind hanging out?
Yeah. Cool.
It's really rare to see a Colt Army with a factory-issued rifle butt, so it could be worth a lot of money. My biggest concern is that it's in too good a shape, so I gotta get it checked out.
I know a little bit about these Colt Armies, but I've never seen one like this. I figured I'd bring you in and...
The value of a stock like this, if it checks out, and especially if it matches the pistol, 15 grand.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Commercial failures often make great collectibles, and this stock is a case in point. Why? They didn't make very many of them because nobody liked them. But they're very rare today because of that, and so they're very desirable and they're very valuable. Let me take a closer look.
There you go.
Okay. All right, the first thing off the bat, these are usually numbered.
Yeah, but it's numbered inside. If you take apart this piece right here, you'll see the numbering.
This?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Well, I've never seen one of these numbered here, this connector rod. I can just tell you I don't like the way the numbers are stamped. They're usually marked right here. It's supposed to also say US below the number. I want to put it together. Why? If for some reason I'm wrong about all these other things and it's still an original set from Colt, it should at least fit together really, really well. So let's put it together and see just how well it fits. All right. There we go. You know, it's functional. You could take it to the range and shoot it, but it's not a good fit. If you look down in here, there's just gaps everywhere. Yeah, a huge gap over here. I mean, it does tighten down nicely, but...
So the stock's not worth anything?
No. Yeah. The value of something like this tops $1,500. Here's why.
Okay.
Gun's worth $1,500. This is entirely a spurious stock. They're still making them today.
Dude, I'm disappointed, but you got me all excited.
Sorry I wasted your time, man.
No, it's
Appreciate
not a
you coming
waste.
down.
It's always a pleasure.
Well, the expert said that the stock might be a modern version. Somebody faked some numbers on it. I'm not happy. Maybe my grandfather was taken for a ride when he bought it.
So you came in for asking for $2,000. Now I'd offer you like $800, man.
Oh, I mean, we were up and down, and now we're way down. Can you come up at all?
Go to $1,000.
Ooh, if retail's 15, can you do, let's say, 13?
Or go $1,200.
You may be in the middle, $1,250.
No, $1,200.
All right, got still for you.
Cool. All right, man. You got your ID on you? Let's do some paperwork.
Yep. First, I came in and I'm thinking it's worth $2,000. Then I hear $15,000, and now we're down to less than $2,000. I'm going up and down and up and down, and right now I'm just wheeling from it. I can't believe that this happened.
What is this?
This is a World War II officer's mess kit.
Okay, let's check it out.
Sure.
Well, we've probably got enough plates here for half a dozen officers.
I counted 8.
Which is sort of neat because when you go out and buy a set of china for use at your home, it usually comes in a set of 8.
Right. Well, I got it at an Army surplus place in New Mexico, and they were going to throw them away, so I said, could I have one, and they gave it to me free. So I'm trying to get 500, but we'll see how it goes.
It's typical of a lot of stuff from like World War II because there was that massive divide between officers and enlisted men. If you look at old pictures of World War II, you'd see the poor enlisted guys with their platter, and they would go up to the line, they would get a lot of slop, and they would still have the officers have servants serving them dinner on platters in a tent. Let's see what you got. This is US 1960. So this is actually not from World War II. Might have saw service in Vietnam, but it doesn't look that used, so I'm assuming it stayed in the States. The one thing about, our US military, they have a tendency to overmake things and then just store them forever.
Right. Would you be interested in buying this?
How much you want for it?
I want it about 500 is what I'm looking for.
Dollars?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, but my problem is, I don't know if this is gonna sit around here for 3 days or 3 years. So I will give you $200.
What about 350?
No,
Can you do better than 200?
no.
No?
No, I'm just gonna teach you pawn shop math. It's $200.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
200 it is.
Okay, we got a deal.
The 200 was $50 less than what I would have taken, but it's better than nothing, and I'm gonna go add it to my money to pay my mortgage, so that's what I'm doing.
You must be Mike.
Hey, Rick, how's it going today?
All right, broom handle Mauser, right? Do you mind?
Oh, please, check it out.
It's been a long time since I've seen one of these. That should pop open and,
There it is.
there we go. This is one of the world's first semi-automatic handguns, and boy, it's goofy looking. As a matter of fact, it's so goofy looking. You ever see Han Solo's blaster? It's just like this with a scope and a few other things put onto it. That's what he's carrying in Star Wars.
That's it. I reached out to the pawn shop to see if they'd be interested in my Mauser C96 broom handle. It's a pistol, but also a rifle at the same time. And for the age of the gun, it's in great condition. I'm looking to sell my Mauser today for $9,000, so we'll start there and see where it goes.
Super cool gun. It really was innovative when it came out. A semi-automatic pistol in the 1890s was a big deal. But the amazing part is you have this. It transforms from a holster to a stock. Most of the guys threw these away, so these are way more rare than the guns are.
Oh, it's great to hear.
Just turned out it just wasn't that practical. I mean, can you imagine this big giant wooden thing as your holster on your side? The weird shape is basically because they were figuring it out. There were some semi-automatic pistols before this one, but this was basically the first large production one. And being the first one, this is what they come up with. It took them like another 15 years to really get it right. But there are people who just collect this kind of gun because there's so many gazillion different variations on it. So I think it's super cool. I mean, how much were you looking to get out of it?
Well, if it's the real thing that I'm hoping for, I'm hoping to get about $9,000 out of it today.
Okay, so have you ever looked up the serial number and figured out the year on it?
I tried to work on that, and from the best that I can tell, it's going to be somewhere around 1897.
That's something we definitely have to look at. If it's 1898 and back, it is merely a collectible and everything else like that. 1899 and newer, it is a handgun just like a brand new gun. So if you don't mind, I'd like to get one of my guys out here to look at it.
Let's do it.
All right, be right back.
Great. I'm hoping the expert agrees with me on the date of being 1897, which keeps it as an antique firearm, which should bring the value up.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, may the force be with you.
Right. It's C96 broom handle. You know, in pop culture, Han Solo's blaster. So they took a C96, they strapped some sights to it and different stuff. So this was not the first semi-automatic pistol ever produced, but it was the one that was the most successful. But Mauser really got it about as well as you could do it for the late 19th century. I'm gonna take this stock off. There we go. So this actually was a weapon of choice during World War I for German officers. It's pretty much iconic. Later on, it was used all the way through World War II. It's classic German engineering. There is one screw. That's it, right there. No other screws in this whole thing. Everything is milled and machined and tension fit together. It's a fixed magazine, meaning it doesn't detach, so you actually have to pull the bolt back and load it from the top with a stripper clip and push all the rounds down. It takes 10 rounds, and then it fires like a semi-automatic. Doom, 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 doom. Having a handgun that could do that, that was fantastic.
Okay, so what do you think?
Okay, so you can see right here, somebody stamped in a serial number, 11073, right. So now this is good news. So the 11,000 series, that means it's 1897, no question.
All right.
So second year of production, very early, very nice.
Did you bring any ammo?
This ammo is hard to find. It takes a 7.63 round, Mauser round. I may have some, but I'm gonna have to go back to my shop and check it out. This is a high velocity round. The ammunition was made, and it was made years ago, and we either have it or we don't.
Well, let's do it.
Great. All right, I'll meet you back here in a couple hours.
Yeah, that sounds fine with me.
Okay, cool.
All right, have a go, man.
Great.
I'm gonna take this with me, all right?
Awesome.
Thank you.
If it fires, it's going to be a great day. If it doesn't fire, we may be in a little bit of trouble.
I found it. I have about 20 rounds. And
Okay.
I found the special stripper clip it takes, and I set up targets.
All right.
So we're good to go. Okay, so this is 7.63 Mauser ammunition. The C96 has an internal magazine that takes 10 rounds. I'm not going to load all 10, just load 5. All right, so now I'll put the stock on. Okay.
All right.
So, eyes and ears.
Just so you know, he's probably not going to hit anything.
That's not true. Totally hitting it. Ready? Yes! Nice! Totally worked.
All right, I'm impressed.
Great. I am too. Mechanically, it's excellent. Low serial number, antique, so you can buy it, which opens up a different market of collectors, because there's a lot of guys who don't want to deal with something that's legally a firearm.
Oh, yeah, or turn it into a Star Wars blaster.
Yeah, there's a market for that, I'm sure.
All right, so what do you think it's worth?
So these are not hard to find once they're past 1898. Finding a pre-1898 one is very difficult to find. I think it's at least 7,000.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you very
Great,
much.
Thanks for your time.
I enjoyed shooting it.
Awesome.
So, the 9,000 is not going to happen.
All right, what can we do?
I'll give you $4 grand for it. I mean, I'm not getting rich off you.
How about about 6 grand?
No.
Come on, Rick, you can do it. It's a great piece. You're not going to find another.
It'll probably take me 6 months to a year to find the right customer and everything else like that. And even my money's tied up. 4,100 bucks?
We need to definitely get a little bit higher than that. Come on, reach up a little bit.
Like 43?
45, we got a deal. Come on, 45.
We have a deal at 44.
Deal at 44.
Deal at 44. All right, sweet.
You got
All right.
it, man.
All right, cool. So I'll meet you back at the shop.
Sounds great. Let's go.
You know, sometimes I amaze even myself.
Hey,
how we doing?
Good. How are you?
It looks like, looks like a truck.
I decided to come to the pawn shop today to sell my old Army truck toy. I picked it up for 25 bucks. I figure it's got to be worth maybe 50, 100, $200. Sky's the limit. I don't know. Everybody finds this stuff once in a while. Maybe I found one. I think it's a 60s Army truck. I picked it up at a garage sale. I really don't have any need for it. I guess what caught my attention was the way the doors, the handles are. You know, a little bit of intricate work there, and the fact that these are actually splined.
Okay, yeah, it is pretty cool. I think it's actually pre-World War II.
Wow.
It might be.
Amazing.
I'm not sure, but the fact that it says Germany on the bottom and not West Germany would mean that it's most likely during World War II or pre-World War II. I mean, I think it's a pretty rare toy.
Right.
I know some of them can be worth a lot of money. Since Germany was divided into two countries for over 40 years, I can often date German stuff just by the markings on the bottom of it. This truck definitely looks pre-World War II, and it's a really cool piece. All the parts here are here, it seems like. I mean, it's a little gun here looks a little messed up. No, it does need a little help. It's in pretty rough shape. I mean, we have the whole little wind-up mechanism is screwed up right here.
Yep.
This toy truck is pretty beat up, but my guess is it's rare, and that means it could be valuable. I just need to get it checked out. Believe it or not, I got someone who knows everything there is to know about toys. He's coming by here in a little bit anyway, if you can just hang out and wait for him, and...
We'll go from there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Wow, he's got a toy expert. Yeah, bring him in. Let's see what this thing's worth. Let's get this ball rolling.
I'm thinking it's like World War II or pre-World War II.
I've seen a few of these come up. It's a pretty rare piece. Anything from the 1930s is gonna be pretty rare. Well, the toy comes from the company Tipco. The owner of Tipco was Jewish. He was forced to flee the country before the 30s. He later came back and took back his company, started reproducing toys again. Yeah, what we got here is a shell. We're missing the driver. There was a driver that went here in the front. He had two gunners in the back, and there was a shield here.
Okay.
So we're missing a few pieces. This gun, when it came out, actually fired. And it would just shoot a projectile out. And you got a few condition issues. Looks like it was played with, but I mean, then again, I mean, back then, you know, people were trying to put food on the table, let alone buy toys for their kids, you know, so you got one toy and that was it.
Yeah, it's not like today. So what's it worth in this kind of condition?
Being that you're missing a lot of the main pieces, I would put a price on this, maybe about $150 to $250.
Okay, thanks, man.
Okay, no problem, Rick. Well, as a toy collector, I mean, it's an amazing toy. I mean, I would love to have it in my shop. It's just too bad that it wasn't in better condition.
Hey, did you want to pawn this or sell it?
I want to sell it.
Okay, so how much you want for it?
Well, he said 250, 300.
Really? We really gonna start that way?
Absolutely.
I'm thinking like 80 bucks. The thing is, I mean, literally, you look this thing up in a book somewhere, and you're gonna go to the fucked up column.
I hear you. 175.
80 bucks.
Okay, 125. You know you're getting an awesome deal on it. You guys will do well on it. We're all here to...
How about 90 bucks? Because I'm gonna get like 150 out of it tops.
$100, and you don't see my smiley face again today.
Promise?
Promise.
All right, I'll go 100 bucks on it.
Okay,
All right, let's go do some paperwork.
All right, sounds good. You know, I sold it for $100. Maybe they can make some good money on it too. Good for them. I'm happy with what I got.
What do you got here?
My father's old collection of Army toys from when he was a kid. I think they're like 1950.
You can tell they weren't mine. They would have had firecracker marks and burns all over them.
I came down to the pawn shop today with my mom to try to sell my Army toy truck collection. I'm not gonna sell them today because I want some money for a video game controller. I want to get 200 today, but I'll take at least 100.
What do you know about them?
Oh, they're made in Japan. I think it's a complete set, I'm not sure.
How do you know they're made in Japan?
On the bottom of every truck and on the license plate, it says Japan.
What do you think about them, boss?
These are called Stamp 10 toys. They're probably mid-50s, somewhere around there. These toys here, when kids used them, there was no video games. They had to use their imagination. Now they don't.
Oh, we are lucky.
Okay, Chumley. After World War II, occupied Japan started making a lot of tin toys. Not like the cheap plastic crap you get today. What you got here is you got an ambulance, a Jeep, a staff car, a model of a tank, and a model of a deuce and a half.
It's a pretty big deuce.
2.5-ton truck, Chumley. The craftsmanship was not the best on them, but they lasted a long time because they were metal.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a lot of moving parts that work.
All the wheels turn except for the front on this.
Yeah, they're in pretty nice shape. Japanese tin toys are collectible as hell, but the value depends on condition and a lot of other little things. I wouldn't even know where to start on price.
So what are you looking to do with these?
I'd like to sell them. I need the new Xbox controller.
All right, well, how much is that Xbox controller?
$100, but I'd like to get $200 for them.
You better call Johnny in.
All right, well, we got a guy who knows all about the toys, so you guys got a little time?
Yeah.
All right, let me give him a call. Hopefully you get that Xbox controller.
I'm really glad the guys are bringing in an expert today because then I can get my full value for them because they don't seem to know too much about them.
Hey, what's up, guys? I own Toy Shack. We specialize in Hot Wheels and vintage toys.
Check it out, some old tin toys from Japan. I was hoping you could tell me more than that.
Well, they've been making tin toys since the mid-1800s. A lot of the tin toys were made in Germany, the United States made some, and then Japan started producing these in the 40s through the 60s. These are really big with collectors because you got people that collect military stuff, and you also got people that collect a lot of the tin toys from back then.
So does that make them worth more?
Most definitely. There's a lot of value and demand in tin toys depending on how complex the piece is, how rare it is, and the condition of the piece as well. You mind if I take a closer look at them?
Yeah, check them out.
Part of the condition is if all the mechanics inside the car work. If it's not working, probably lose about half the value. Also, I see some conditions here. It looks to be exposed to the elements a little bit. That does affect the value as well.
So he brought these in and he's looking for a new Xbox controller and a little spin and change. Well, do you see that right there?
I would put a value on these anywhere from 150 to 180 as a group.
All right, that's good.
Okay, well, appreciate it.
There was some signs of rust on these toys. Also, some of the mechanics didn't seem to be all 100% functional, so the value of these toys would be on the lower end.
You're 18, right?
No, I'm 14.
All right, well, I gotta make sure I negotiate with your mom then.
All right.
I mean, I see an Xbox controller in there, but I don't see much of anything else.
I mean, I know you got to move them, but we just think that, yeah, it might be a little value there.
I could go about 75, and that leaves me enough wiggle room.
What do you think?
I need at least 100 for him, so...
If he's going to get that controller, yeah, he needs 100. The 75's a little low.
What do you think, boss?
Yeah, I'll go for 100.
All right, boss says it's good. 100 bucks it is.
I was a little worried when he said 75. I'm glad my mom got him up to 100, so now I'm gonna get my controller today.
See, I helped you.